Okay, just because you are a creator does not necessarily mean that you are a creative person. There is a huge world of difference between these two words, and today's video I'm going to unpack that. Hi everyone, my name is Ankita and welcome to my channel AnkiTalkies, where I discuss everything under culture, identity, perception, frameworks, and meaning. The creator economy is absolutely booming right now. There are so many people who call themselves creators. There are so many job opportunities now for creative people, and respectfully and rightfully, I think it's good that creators are getting their due right now. So let's get down to my first point is that if you're a true creative person, your career is an extension of yourself. You cannot compartmentalize the two things. Maybe you are a painter, maybe you're a dancer, maybe you're a musician, whatever it is, that consumes you. Your career is an extension of that. Life is not going to be one single track throughout, right? You're going to go through so many different things, and your career is going to suffer accordingly. The phases you go through is going to change you so much as a person, and that change will also showcase itself in your artwork or in your creativity. I've literally noticed like there is no separation between the two. Everything just flows from within them. Everything is an extension of themselves. Okay, let's move on to our second point. Time feels like an abstract concept. Time is not something that creative people understand very well, because time again has rules to it, right? There is something instinctive, impromptu, and very, very deep in their core that hits them, and then they're like, I have to put this out in the world. Try convincing a creative person to come out at that, to eat something, to drink something, to go take a wash or whatever. They are not going to be able to do that until the work is done, until they are happy with what they're creating. Moving on to my third point, routines, schedules, to-do list, all of this are the fastest way to burn you out. The relationship with routines and schedules and having a to-do list and just being very systematic and structured out in life doesn't bode well with them, because creatives are not the most disciplined people out there. But at the same time, they also need it at some point of time in their life to kind of ground them a bit. When you are in a phase of life where you're not showing anything to the world at that point of time, having a routine kind of really helps to anchor yourself into the world, into the reality, and not lose yourself in your mind, which a lot of creative people tend to do. Fourth point is something that's very close to my heart. Have you ever struggled to color within the lines? So your mind is like, what exists outside of that line? What happens if I don't color within the lines? What is going to change? What is going to happen there? Your mind works like that. That's why you are a creative person, right? But unfortunately, the world doesn't operate like that. Unfortunately, this world loves rules and loves putting people in boxes. Even now, if you tend to question everything, which tends to put you in a box in some way, you're definitely a creative person. Truly creative people know that fitting in is not an option for them. That's not who they are. It's not how they operate. That's not how their mind works. That's not how their soul functions. Just do what everyone's doing. All of these things have never made any sense to you. Whether it comes to your career, whether it comes to your love life, whether it comes to your family, whether it comes to whatever decisions and choices you make for yourself, it's never made any sense. So let's get down to our fifth point, which is typical job roles. They don't make any sense to you, because you're not just that. I remember going for this interview once, and I was explaining my career story basically and how I have done a lot of things, and this person just looks at me and like, what do you want actually? He was your typical CEO trying to make sense of you have to fit into the system somehow kind of a person. So I said, I want creative freedom. That's what I want. And he said, well, then I don't think this job is for you, because on this job, I want somebody to just follow my instructions and make whatever I ask them to make, and that's it. But I think he was trying to say that you're a whole different species. I think you'll have to find your own path in life and not really work for somebody else's vision or for somebody else's idea about something. You have to create something of your own. As a creative person, our souls are very fluid and very free. It doesn't like to be contained into something. It doesn't like to be defined by something all the time. Maybe in that phase it's okay. Maybe when Yeah, when I used to write, if I was doing copywriting, yeah, fine, call me a copywriter, fine. But am I only that? No. No. There's so much more to me. And do I want to explore that? 100%. I'm not going to define myself just by one title that somebody thinks that they can give me and define me by that for the rest of my life. Anyway, coming down to the sixth point. Now, this could be controversial, but I feel like a truly creative person hates LinkedIn. You cannot stand people copy pasting the same kind of posts. Everyone seems to be like just, either copying from AI or just copy pasting from someone else's post. Like nobody is actually creating anything over there. You cannot stand the inauthenticity that oozes out from any of these apps. My seventh point is a bit of a sensitive point, but it has to be said. If you're truly a creative person, either you have battled or you're battling anxiety, depression, burnout, being a highly sensitive person. There is some sort of mental health issue that you have either gone through in the past or you're going through it. What makes a person so creative is because they see the world from a very sensitive lens. They see things that people don't necessarily see. They see things that people want to overlook. They see the truth in a lot of emotionally charged situations. And that's what they get inspired from to channelize that into their creativity. Your softness, your sensitivity, your way of seeing something, the beauty with which you see the little things in life is what heals the world. You are an anomaly in a world of copycats. You're always going to stand out, you're always going to be different in whichever microcosm you exist in, because you are so sensitive and your way of looking at the world is so beautiful. Not everyone's going to get it, and not everyone should be given access to it also. Let me move on to the eighth point, which is actually going back on what I said about LinkedIn and Instagram and all that, that you cannot stand inauthenticity, you cannot stand insincerity, you cannot stand hypocrisy, you cannot stand any kind of disrespect to you. You cannot stand that in yourself also. So you will not take it in another person. Let's come down to my ninth point. Slow death to you as a truly, truly creative person is doom scrolling and consuming other people's content, because that leads to this feeling of like, am I even creative? Am I an imposter? The thing about truly creative people is they should not be exposed too much to other people's work also. Or even if they do, it should be at their pace. Like, okay, they are in that zone to go and want to see someone else's creativity. As a truly creative person, I think you need to have that audacity to just create more. Even if it's the most silliest idea, even if it's something that is done and dusted, just do it. Because maybe your perspective is something that was not done before. You never know. You just never know. Okay, so we're now at my last point, the 10th point. If you're a truly creative person, right, there is always an inner dilemma going on, a kind of like a push and pull going on between what is success and what is happiness. Are they interrelated or are they two separate things for you? Is it a state of mind for me? Or is it like leaving a well-deserved legacy in society? Or is it like an external validation that I'm seeking? What is the true meaning of all this? These kind of existential thoughts are always there at the back of your mind. You want your work to be out there in the world. You want your work to make sense. You want people to resonate with it. You want your work to receive its glory. But at the same time, you truly see a lot of beauty in the little things of life, in the little joys of life, as I say. And sometimes you might think like, yeah, this is success. At least I'm happy right now. There are so many people who are successful on paper, but they're not happy. When it comes to the bigger life-defining philosophies and ideologies, right, you are constantly questioning that. Truly creative people, they understand it the best. Amongst all the people in the world, they understand it the best that we are not who we are at every stage of life. We are changing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly, learning, seeking. So many things are going on as a person. So obviously, your idea of something at 15, at 25, at 35, at 45, at 65 is going to be very different And if you're a truly creative person, you don't allow something to define you and say, like, what was the idea of success at 15 is the idea of success at 65 for you. I come to the end of my video. I've been yapping away so much. Comment down below and tell me which point made the most sense to you. Like, it blew your mind that how much we were similar and how I was able to articulate what you have been feeling. Because I know a lot of creative people out there are the most loneliest people out there. You are fighting a system that doesn't understand you at all. You are trying to figure out a life that works for you completely. It's not an easy task. It's not at all an easy task. So the best thing we can do is stick together, find each other if we can. This is a very identity type of topic, right? Are you a creator or are you a creative person? Based on that, I was just thinking, like, am I a creator or am I a creative person? Because I know I can create a lot of things and I can call myself a creator, but when I look at the job titles and all, I'm like, I don't resonate with it. Is there something wrong with me? That's how this topic got developed, and then I fleshed it out a little bit more. But on this channel, my point is to talk about culture, identity, meaning, frameworks, perception. And if you bored with that type of content, subscribe to my channel. And a huge, huge hug to all my creative, truly creative people out there. I will see you in my next video. This is Ankita signing off. Bye.